The following program is a real estate and mortgage show and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good evening and welcome to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy and Anthony, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is yourhomeyourmoney101@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of Your Home, Your Money, Randy and
Average price in transactions, sweetheart. Write it
Hello,
down,
hello,
please.
hello.
Hey, hello, people. And you
Randy's,
can join in. You can call Mike. Mike will join you in on air. Hi, people. Talking to Jackie. She's not with us today.
She's
But
hiding today.
yeah, trying to get her to join in for a minute. That's what's happening. Call Mike, please.
While you two are playing on the radio.
Playing on the radio show. Tell Mike. Call Mike. He will. He will get you in. Yeah.
Randy.
Yeah.
Randy.
You're on air. Go ahead.
I don't know if they
The
can.
whole system has changed, so you have to give me a minute. I've been playing with it all day, but Realm, they changed the face of it, so I'm trying to get into where you want.
Well, hurry up, girl, because these people are waiting on air. Okay. Bye for
We're
now.
waiting because
Okay.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what a happy marriage looks like.
Listen. It's very important that you young ones take a good lesson from this, because the stuff that you're being taught with this 50-50 and all this stuff, that's going to ruin your marriage. You're going to get divorced because 50-50, guys, turns into 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. Next thing you know, you're doing everything and you're still getting in trouble. So you gotta hold the line. What do you think, Anthony?
I think I'll plead the fifth on that one, just in case my wife is listening. I don't.
Anthony's a 50-50 guy, but he holds the 50-50 line. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're a weak male, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm happy. So, I think it's 18 years strong, which is kind of crazy to even say.
18 years.
I think so.
Holy.
No, it was 6, 4, 19 years this year.
19?
I think so.
So she's been abusing you for 19 years and you're still happy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know what? I admire men that can do
Hey,
that.
well,
I just don't have
here's
the
what I know you don't got much hair, but I'm sure if you did, you'd have a lot more grays than what I have. I have like maybe 6.
You're 20 years younger.
Your point. I'm pretty sure 20 years ago you had no hair and you had more grays than I have right now.
First of all, I had no gray 20 years. I just started getting grays.
Sure, buddy.
I just started getting grays when my wife turned a senior.
When did you lose your hair? I'm pretty sure.
I lost it when I was young.
Yeah, so if you had hair, you probably would have
No,
like
but I
grays.
had hair. I just lost spots.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure when you were trying to play basketball with me, you didn't have hair back then either. And that was at least 12, 14 years ago.
When I was trying. You mean those times I stepped on your head while I was dunking? Is that what you're talking about? Because I already apologized for all of that.
Well, I can see you still have that vivid memory. Or not memory, sorry, imagination. Wrong choice of words.
Imagination. That's how I remember it. Yeah, but, okay. So, peoples, the market. What's going on with the market? Well, we have seen Bank of Canada reducing prices. You got some emails there.
Grant says wow, what radio from Grant. So I guess he's enjoying what's going on so far.
Nice. So we've had The Bank of Canada reducing rates. You know, coming from 5%, we're down to 3 now. They just made another announcement, a 0.25% drop. And if you were listening to the news, what we would call fake news, you'd be hearing, oh yeah, the rates are going to come down, the rates are coming down, rates are coming down, and therefore prices are going to go up. Prices have not gone up. Okay? That has not happening. And only here are you hearing that, because everybody else is a little bit confused. They don't really know what's going on. And to be honest with you, we are guessing. But it's an educated guess, right? Because we've experienced these things for many years, we are just shooting from the hip. And we're sticking our necks out a little bit. And we're trying not to mislead you. Because we realize that there are certain people that hang on our words, that they decide if they're going to sell their home or not, or hold on to their home based on things that we're telling them. And I can tell you with all my heart, I may be wrong, but I don't think I am, that we are still going to have a very difficult real estate period for the next 2 years. This year is going to be a shocker, okay? Because rates have come down 2%. It's come down from 5 to 2. We're almost 50% slashed interest rate. Almost.
Overnight rate, talking about.
Overnight rate. The Bank of Canada's announcement. And prices are not moving up. Transactions are still very lethargic. You know, and listings are pouring onto the market. And so with this environment, this is not an environment of rapid price increase. Yes, the interest rates, with the Bank of Canada making that announcement, could help to stimulate the marketplace if Canadians believed in the variable rate. If they had faith or confidence in the variable rate, then yeah, I think it could help affect the real estate market. But the problem is, all of us, with the exception of some people who, have a fair amount of cash behind them, and they're able to take the risky path of the variable rate, the same rate that has caused a 10%, 10% or a tenfold increase in bankruptcies. People are losing their house left, right, and center. Power sales are all over the place. And this is all happening because our government, with their rate announcement, their overspending and all that stuff, just jacking up the rates, and then, had a really low rate and then jacking it up. And for all those people who had a fixed rate, they were unaffected. But 97,000 almost of them, because how do we know? Because the people from 2020, those people who did 5-year rates, 5-year terms, those terms are up now. And so all those people are facing the interest increases on their mortgage now.
Back then, 'cause I'm not too privy to the information. Even if they had a fixed rate back then, what would, back 5 years ago when the rates were crazy low, were fixed rates almost as low as variable rates, or what would they have been? Do you know?
Yeah, in the twos.
In the twos, okay.
In the twos,
okay,
low threes.
So
for the people who for the people who had to do a little bit more creativity, they were entrepreneurs, realtors, whatever. They might have been in the low threes. With the general public who had a paying job because the finance
basically had a T4 slip.
Had T4 slips. Those people were getting interest rates in the twos, and the people who were doing variables were getting them in the ones.
So basically, the rates have basically doubled or just over doubled right now. I think right now
their rates have almost tripled.
Well, not that 2.5. I think right now you can get a mortgage for around 4.5.
Not if you were at 2.5. If you were at 1.9, 1.7, 1.9, then you would have been around there. But if you were at 2.5 or then you're going to be in the 5.5 to 6.
Oh, because you're saying they're not like the A lenders type of things. Is that what you're trying to say, or?
Well, the banks, and we should actually call it's a form of prejudice. They're prejudiced against people who don't have T4s, who don't.
Yes.
Right. So And it's
Okay, so-
really
okay,
kind of
so you're
isn't
saying-
fair. They should say, hey, listen, you won't earn $350,000 a year. You more than qualify on this rate. But they'll take somebody who earns $150,000 a year and give them a better rate because theirs is a T4.
There's a T4, and it's just basically you do the time, you get paid. Whereas entrepreneurs, they got to put the work in, which obviously they're doing, but I guess for some reason the banks are just less maybe trusting of them or
It's
or,
just
or
the
more
system.
wary. Yeah.
It's to me, it's boardroom management, right? They're in the boardroom, they make policies, and then we have to live with those policies.
And it could be the number two, like supply and demand. Like there's a lot more T4 workers than there are entrepreneur type of workers.
It
as
could
well.
be that. A lot of it has to do with the fact that the bank's investors, the way that they structure it, if you're getting a paycheck like that,
Yeah.
then it's considered a guaranteed
Yeah,
A
yeah.
loan.
Yeah.
And so then they're able to turn around and sell that loan to their investors. So they make a policy that these ones are the prime loans, and those are the type of people that are in these packages.
Which I can get, but at the same time, if you have an entrepreneur with like a $750, $800 credit rating, like there should be some kind of like leeway or some, like I don't know.
They will get a better mortgage, but not as
Not-
good as
yeah.
not as good as a person with equally good credit and the actual job. In many cases, and then these things do change. The bank will come out with a special program where they'll help, with these kinds of policies. But overall, in general, they want you to have a paying job. But, it can be a bit of a tough one too, because I know of someone, this was a few years ago, who had a great job, was working for the city, actually was a bus driver here in Durham. And it turns out that Durham, the city of Durham, does not want bus drivers to buy homes because on their job letter, it says that they are a temporary worker. Now they're working full-time hours and
Yeah.
everything, but that's what it says. So you can't use that to get a mortgage. So yeah, it was kind of an odd thing. So there are situations where it's not.
Oh, so
just
because it's not a full-time job and they're technically,
because it says temporary,
Yeah.
and there's no stability there, and you can't.
even though they've been
use-
working there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Right, 10 years.
Oh,
It's just stupid, but it is what it is.
All right, we have a few emails. One earlier from Kelly. Kelly says, "Hey to Anthony and Randy, why do a real estate show? Do a comedy show since you guys are always clowning around. Peace, brothers." Well, we've been serious for the last 4 minutes there, Kelly. Come on, we gotta have a little bit of fun. From Gwen. Gwen says, "The truth. Who cares about real estate and the Bank of Canada? You may as well preach to a bunch of a-holes. No one except a very few and that you are counting on can afford a house nowadays. It's not that we do not have money, credit, or a decent down payment, but the government has made it impossible for hardworking folk to get a house. We have $75,000 saved. I make $80,000 a year and have good credit. And all the realtors want to put me in a $400,000 rat-infested house in a small part of my city, here in the GTA. So what gives? You will not be selling a lot of houses this year. You'll be lucky to even break even with your expenditures. We listen to you for entertainment." Well,
Wow, Gwen, wow, that hurts. Not
well,
really.
and I don't really think. Okay, you're saying the realtor wants to put you in a 400 grand house, and I hear you say with the government, I guess kind of, but I guess they kind of caused some part of this problem with the way that the market kind of shot up overnight, kind of. But at $80,000, again, I'm not sure what that is monthly, but the mortgage on a $400,000 house would be. Do you have an idea offhand on a 400?
400, no, I'll work it out for you though.
400,000. They have 75,000 put down, so basically three and a quarter is what they'd be putting down on a 400,000.
On a $400,000 home, they don't need $80,000.
Yeah, but that's what they have down, so I'm guessing they want to make the mortgage as low as possible.
Less
Maybe
than 20%, $2,000.
$2,000 a month.
Yeah.
right? On 80 grand, again, I'm not sure what 80 grand would take home per month, but 80 grand, I'm guessing probably around maybe 5 or 6 grand a month.
3.89%. But that's
So
if they qualify for that.
Yeah. So I guess the issue is, I guess, yes, it is partially, I guess, government, but it's also the cost of homes, right? The homes are a bit more expensive. So if you are a single family income, it is definitely tough with single family incomes. Yeah, I guess I'm not really sure what to say. I'm not sure what you want to
Here
add
we
to
go,
that.
Gwen. Listen, you are right. 400,000 in the GTA would be a rat-infested home, but it's only a rat-infested home when you buy it. After you've bought it, you're going to clean it up, and it's not going to be one. Listen, I will tell you, Gwen, even if you buy a big home, there are certain times of the century where you're going to find mice in your home. Depending on where you live, it could be worse than other places. So that is not something that you will get away from because you're buying something more expensive. I do agree, Gwen, you said we, and then you quoted only your income, which at 80,000 is a decent income. So then is there another party to the we? And if there is, what's that income? You add that together, I think you should be able to do more than 400,000, and also you have $80,000 down on 400,000. You only need $20,000 down, so you're well on your way to being able to buy something. But I would say that it's going to take a little bit of creativity. And what I mean by creativity is that it's not that it's impossible. It's just that it won't be a palace. It won't be that dream home, and there may be mice in it. And if there is, you can get rid of them. We can talk about that at another time. We'll have a show about how to get rid of mice. But right now,
Let me just jump in because I know you're probably going for 10 minutes. What I was saying
Before
too, I
you
know
start there, Anthony, I got a caller calling in if you guys want to take the call.
is the caller Jackie?
I'm not totally sure. I'll just see who it is. Okay, caller, could you just speak up and make sure?
Hello.
There we go.
Yeah,
Hello?
It sounds like her. What's...
Oh, it's her.
Okay, so Jack, hold on a second. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on, Randy. Jackie said she can't do the show tonight because she's busy with clients, but hey.
Okay. So you tell
There
her.
is no January stats on Treb at this point.
No, there isn't any January stats, but if you can go into Realm and do from January the 1st to January the 31st in the GTA, or pick an area or something, and tell us how many transactions there were this year versus last year, and what the average price is. So both the average price and the transactions, please. And Anthony, say what you were going to say.
Yeah, so what I was going to say, Gwen, is, again, I'm assuming right now you're renting, and I'm not sure what you're paying for rent, but I'm sure it's not too cheap. And if you can get this home for this price, I'm assuming that what you're paying for rent would be similar to what you'd be paying for a home of around 400 grand. Again, I may be wrong, but you can let me know if you are. But if you were just to convert what you're paying rent now to a mortgage, even if it's not the best house, it would be your house, and you would be paying down a mortgage. Where if you do decide to I guess get a bigger home later, it'd be easier for you to do that than it is to. It's always easier to move up than to get in, right? Because once you get in, you pay it off a bit, get some equity in the home. Eventually, you could hopefully be in a position where you can again get to a better place if you don't like that place over the years. But at the end of the day, you're paying right now rent. You're paying off someone else's mortgage right now. Right? Every year you don't own a home, you're paying someone else's mortgage. So I can't say you're gonna get the best home or that what you exactly want right now. But for 400 grand, again, 400 grand I'll be honest with you, would be tough, especially in the GTA. Mm-hmm. But if you could find something that could work for you and you can make it work, and you're willing to, as Randy said, if it is rat infested, it can always be taken care of. It would be, and again, with my advice to do that instead of paying a rent if you are paying, especially if it's a similar rent, and it's similar right now, but in 10 years it won't be similar. You'll be paying much more rent than you are right now. So you can continue from there.
Yeah. So I would like.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
So, doesn't look right what I have here, but
Well,
because
can you sort it out and then let us know rather than do ad lib?
you just want what was sold, right?
The number of transactions and the average price, please.
Okay. So
Thank you.
then last year, one second, because I think I was doing something else, so it may, yeah, there we go. Sorry. I had other prompts on, that's why.
Well, thanks for the play-by-play.
Fabulous radio right now.
So, Kelly, yeah, we
He's
just.
lucky I'm being quiet right now.
No,
Oh,
it's actually
thank
it's,
you,
no, it's
sweetheart.
Gwen, not Kelly. It's Gwen.
Oh, Gwen, yes. So, yeah, you're right. It's about 446 is what that would work out to be. And if you have some debts, then it could bring it down to 400. So, Gwen, I do want to say one thing though, because your sarcasm was very well noted, and I also think it's very well justified. Your negativity is at this time of the marketplace, it is so justified. This is a really difficult time to wrap your head around, or for anybody to wrap their head around this what the government did during COVID in terms of increasing the price of cost of living and the spending that they did, the waste that they did, the lies that they told us in terms of masks and all this stuff, just to get us to follow them like sheep. And waste our time and our money, destroy the supply chain, and just spend money like crazy. So they're the ones that are causing the inflation and blaming it on us. And I get that. And then they lower the interest rate to stimulate the economy, while all the while causing price inflation to happen like crazy. I get that, Gwen. However, unfortunately, Gwen, if you stay in that zone, in that justifiably negative zone, it is going to hurt you long term. Gwen, if you were to buy a house today and it was rat infested for 400,000, I'm not sure what your age is, and I'm assuming by your income you're not a senior. So you have time. And with a 30-year AM in 30 years, or a 25-year AM in 25 years, when you actually pay off that rat-infested house, I can pretty much guarantee you that that rat-infested house will be worth about $1 million when you retire. Okay, and you owe nothing on it, so you get $1 million. But if you continue to say, well, no, I don't want that rat infested, I don't want this, I don't want that, then you will pay rent for those 25 years. And I'll tell you what's going to happen, Glenn. Right now, you may be in a great situation with your rent and be paying $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, let's say, because you're not at market rent at 24, 25. You're not there, because if you were, the rat infested house would actually look attractive at $2,000 a month. But let's just say you've got a special deal at $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month, whatever it is. But in 25 years, you are going to be paying $3,000 a month on that, whatever, wherever it is that you are. And at the end
Anthony,
of it,
check your
you've got
messages for me.
nothing.
Okay.
At the end of it, you've got nothing. But right now, at the end of it, you could end up with $1 million. And so I caution you to really work on getting over what our government just did to us. And it was bad. It was really bad. I can't even believe that I watched it happen, because we were live here on air for part of that, right? We had quit during COVID and things like that, but we were alive during part of it. And we watched the Bank of Canada go from a business that could never lose money and has never lost money ever since it started, to actually last year, not last year, year before, I will have to check for last year, they haven't put out their year number, losing over $5 billion. This is our Bank of Canada. How is that possible? Well, it's the way that they conducted business. They destroyed themselves, but they also destroyed us. So the feeling you have is extremely justified. And it's so unfortunate that we have these kind of irresponsible people running our government. And then when we get businessmen that come in, they don't have the sweet talk that the politicians do, and we tend to hate them because of that. But that's really what we need. We need to have people who are fiscally responsible so that we don't have to go through these things. But let's put that aside for now. Our government did do a horrible job at running our country for the last few years. They jumped on the COVID bandwagon and totally bankrupted their country. But in the meantime, don't let them bankrupt your spirit. Okay? So Gwen, yeah, you may have to jump into a $400,000, $500,000 home. That may be where you need to start. But as you pay down your principal, then you are going to owe less and less and less on that house. And as the market, over the years, the market is going to change. And one day you're going to see the market fly up and you're going to make a ton of money on that home. But if you're sitting comfortably in your rental, that's not going to happen. And that's my little preach to you, Gwen. Jackie, is she gone?
Hello?
Hey, babes. What happened? What happened?
I sent stuff to Anthony.
What'd you say?
Top left corner. Oh, okay, yeah. So 14, but it says 1418 plus.
14,818?
Yeah, but there's more than that because it's 1418 plus. And 23,412 plus.
23,412. Those are 14.
Okay, sorry. So it's 23,412.
Is what?
Was the unavailables for last year?
Last year, 2024.
Yes.
Okay. And then in January.
From January. Oh, you just want January?
January the 1st.
Last year?
This year.
Okay.
Do you want January last year and January of this year?
Do you got a pen, sweetheart?
January this year.
And January of last year,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I did the last year wrong. Sorry. I thought you wanted the whole
So
year.
for this year, it's 1418 in January.
Yeah, hold on. I'll tell you right now.
January this year, 2025.
Yes.
Okay, so last year,
Not availables. You can't
right,
do availables.
just the unavailable.
Right.
For last year was 1,189. Okay, let me change the date and then I can tell you.
And that's 2024. Now look at solds.
Yeah, 1 second.
For
That
those
is
two periods.
sold.
You said that's unavailable, sweetheart. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
unavailable
sorry.
would be a bigger.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
I got to change my date here. I apologize for that.
No, that's okay. It makes for interesting radio.
Don't worry, Jackie.
Yeah, of course it does, because you
Cameron
put
says he
me on
loves
the
you.
spot.
No.
Real interesting radio.
Yeah. Maybe we'll
Okay,
let you.
so this year, so far, not so far, sorry, January's over, 527, and this is Toronto, sold,
in Toronto.
okay?
Yeah.
And let me change my
And
date,
that's January. So everyone who's listening in, what she looked at in the Toronto area, 527 properties sold January
and
of this year. And last year
was 506.
506. So we did have a small increase in the number of transactions this year, January, over last year, January, in the Toronto area. So, and the difference is basically 21 transactions?
Yeah.
And in Durham, last year, I hit the done button. Last year in Durham, there was 463. And this year, sorry, gotta change it. And this year's 423.
So in Durham, the actual transactions went down
By 40.
by 40 transactions. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, if we, because what I was trying to determine, are we doing more transactions or are we doing less? Are you able to do the same thing, take your time, do the same thing for the average price so we can know the average price of those solds, please? So that's transactions. I'm curious on pricing
Okay,
because
hold on. I can
the
hold
average
on.
price.
Let me go back and see if it'll give me the analytics. Let's see if the problem is the analytics only doesn't give you no. Okay.
Okay, take your time. We're gonna move on.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hold on. So average price, 952.
For when?
1 second. That's for. Sorry, I got to keep moving screens. So that was for Durham this year.
This year. Okay, 952.
I think.
Okay.
Did you write that down? Okay, now I'll tell you last.
952,000.
Yeah, hold on. I'll tell you last year.
And last year,
Yeah, 1 second.
drum roll, please. So here we are trying to see, did the prices
Last
go up
year?
in Durham? Yeah,
Wait, it's loading.
should be close.
952.
Oh shoot! So it remained the same. So we
Yeah,
have.
because but isn't that odd?
Well, it's a push. I mean, it's just relative. It doesn't matter. So we had a push on pricing. Pricing didn't move, but transactions actually went down in Durham this year. But in Toronto, well, we don't know the price, but we certainly know transactions went up this year
About
over last year.
952. That just seems so weird, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm checking it again because it just seems weird.
So basically, the market's not doing much. The interest rate has come down a whole
Yeah.
2%, and we're not seeing the market changing much. The good news is the market's not nosediving. That's the good news.
that's-
But the rates have come down, yes, but not really. Like the mortgage rates are still higher than what they were, right? So that's because the bank rate is coming down. Mortgage rates are still higher than what people
Okay, hold
experience.
on, guys. So month to date, I changed it to month to date, and it's 1 million is the average sales price
In what? For what?
In
for
Durham,
when? For when?
for last year. And let
I
me
think it was
change
$1
the
million last year.
date for this year. Gosh, it's so slow.
Oh, we got an email.
Yeah, it's saying the same thing.
So
I don't know
what-
why
what-
it's doing that.
Why?
Sorry, guys.
No, it's
maybe
okay. It's okay. I just this email they're saying asking why you haven't prepared any of this prior. Oh, let's not even bother with that email. So, but what we are seeing. So if you did Toronto, the average price, we probably wouldn't see a big deal. It might go up or down a little bit, but we're really probably a 1%er sort of thing. We're really not seeing a lot of either activity. Like we're getting activity, we're getting listings, and as was it Gwen? I think it was Gwen that said.
Yes, I'm sorry. I got to go because I have to return calls for one listing that we do have right now. The latest one that came out. So
Okay.
I'm out.
So, okay, bye. Gwen said, you know, you realtors, you're probably not going to make enough money to even pay your expenses this year. And Gwen, thank you very much. And you are correct. But this is not exclusive to us. This is for many realtors. But I will tell you, we are pushing back on the world hard. We are expanding our marketing, and we are trying to move forward. We're not letting this dull period in history stop us from advancing. And when we advance, we are seeing that our sellers are getting more money. We just sold a home. Jackie just got off the line, but I would let her tell you. Just sold a home last week. So
It's a Sunday, right?
was it on Sunday? Yes,
so.
I think it was on Sunday. And just to put things in perspective, the last home that sold, because there weren't a lot in that neighborhood, but in that neighborhood there was a brand new home. Well, it was, a year or two old, brand new home that was a little bit bigger, that had almost $1,000 more taxes, which what taxes tell us is a couple of things. It tells us value over the price or size of the home. The taxes will tell us if they have a upgraded lot on a ravine, their taxes will be higher. If they have a bigger lot, their taxes will be higher. Even though the two homes may have the same size home, the lot may be bigger on a ravine, on a cul-de-sac. So therefore, that property is worth more. Taxes usually take all that stuff into account because a baud rate for the taxes is set at the time of when the area is built. Okay, so it's taken off of the builder prices, and the builder takes all those things into account in order for them to make the most amount of money. So the reason why I'm telling you is that this new property had a little over $1,000 more in taxes, which brings quite a bit more value to that property over the property that we sold. We sold ours at 1.1 million. That other one with $1,000 more taxes, slightly bigger home, better location, better blam 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 blam, $1,000 more taxes, got 1.130. So $30,000 difference between the two properties. We blew them away in terms of value. We totally outpaced the market in that area. And how do we do it? Because we really do put every effort into our marketing, and we do like these 60 to 20 page brochures telling everything about the home, a single page website so that the people can go there and learn all the things about the home. Because when you go out and see a home, the only thing you really know about the home is what's on that listing. And quite frankly, there is not a lot of information that listing provides for you. And that's why we do a separate website, so we can get all the information for you, so you can dig as deep as you can. If you want to know the deep stuff, the only way you can is through asking your agent to ask the other agent. And so you have a few questions and you get them answered. But we provide so much more information than that. You don't even need to ask any questions. You got way too much information, and you can absolutely fall in love with that home and really decide if that is the right one for you and put your money out there and compete. So that's what we had. We had people compete, and that's why we were able to get much more dollar per value than the next competition. And so my thing is, yes, Gwen, I agree with you. We are not going to make money this year. We did not make money last year. We lost money overall when you take all your expenses and everything together. And that's going to happen again this year, and it's probably going to happen again next year, Gwen. But we are going to continue to push so that our sellers make more money, so that when the market does pick up, that we're able to do this at scale and get more and more people great value, and that's when we will come out of it with the big win. And here's the thing, when people like you say the things that you say, we get to say what it is that we do, so more and more people will learn that there is a big difference between realtors. They're not all the same. Some realtors are really pushing hard for you to get the most amount of money.
Yep, somewhere just there. I was going to ask something, but I kind of forgot what I was
Sorry,
going to say.
because I rambled.
You randied.
I randied.
I guess I do have a quick buzz we can talk about. Kind of going into what you're talking about with. Actually, I think I remember what I start talking about now. Like, I think as you're saying, like, this year, next year, maybe even the year after, it might be a bit slow. And I think the reason for that is because that 2-year, 1.5 year period where prices just skyrocketed, right? But our incomes are the same. Food prices have gone up. Everything has gone up. Like, you can expect prices to go up at a steady pace, which is okay. A steady pace is okay. I think the normal 4 or 5%, which it was averaging out. Okay, you know what? It's going up, but it's not crazy. When it goes up, stupid 10. I can't remember the numbers of what's going up, but it was just crazy. And when you have a house generally listed at $600,000, was really worth $600,000, being sold for $800,000, right?
Yeah.
So that was the problem.
Yeah.
The problem was that homes which should sell at 6 were selling at 8. Homes that should sell at 8 were selling at 9 million plus. So like, it didn't make sense, and something had to break because we don't have that money coming in to justify the money we're putting out, right? And then when you tie in those crazy low interest rates and people are not self-regulating themselves and saying, well, you know what, I can afford this $1 million home, even though $800,000 home would have worked for my family, but I get so much more room in this house, which I don't necessarily need, but it's nice. If I could afford it reasonably, yeah, I would want it as well, but it's just that those confluence of events kind of screwed up the market, and hopefully in the next 2, 3, 4 years, our income can pick up. Hopefully the amount of money that's in the system will justify the money we're putting out, right? Where right now it really doesn't for a lot of families, which is why you're seeing a lot of these homes basically come up for sale. And on that note, one of the things I want to talk about is like an article I'm reading right now is saying that in the last month alone, 1 in 5 listings are being canceled or terminated because, again, they're trying something. They're getting on the market. They're saying, okay, I bought this house for 8. I need to get 8, 9, $1 million to justify my costs and cover all my expenses, and they can't get that. So they're putting it on, taking off, changing price, going back on, off, on. Like I just from looking the last month, I've seen homes where, again, I think we talked about last week, where they'll go on and say, you know what, we're going to do a quick 2-week thing, have an offer date. Offer date comes, goes, nothing. It's okay, you know what, I had it at $699, let's put it up to $799. Try it again. Okay, didn't work, let's terminate it, put it back on a month later for $750. And it's back and forth where it's just, they're desperate to get out, but at the same time, if they get out for $650, they're gonna lose. They're gonna get the $650 and still owe the bank another $200,000, right? And I don't know about you, but I know you all think I'm Scrooge McDuck over here, but I don't have $200,000 just sitting and waiting to pay the bank on a day's notice, right? So.
Yeah. And I agree with you on that. And part of the issue is when 1 in 5 homes are selling, this is what Gwen is sort of saying, is that, you know, how can you, if you're spending...
But sorry, there's not 1 in 5 selling, these are 1 in 5 being terminated.
Well, they're scrambling.
Yeah.
But realistically,
yeah, it's also
1 in 5 are selling.
Yeah, as well, yes.
1 in 5 are selling. And 1 in 5 are scrambling, and they're scrambling, and the days it takes to actually sell a home is almost 2 months on average. And they're scrambling in between, trying to get their home sold because their cost of living has gone up way past what they ever expected. And they're trying to make it working. So Gwen is kind of right, you know. As a realtor, there, you know, you've got 5 homes that you've invested in and you're marketing for and everything, and only one of them has the best chance of selling. Life is hard. We have a client who's going to be calling us again this week, and we met with this is the 4th time meeting with this client. And so the first time we met with them, they just heard about us. They come to see us, and they explained to us their situation and when they bought. And so we looked up what they bought and that, and we go, holy smokes! You overpaid. Now I do want to talk about that for a second, since I'm in the mood for bragging. All of our buyers, before they buy a home, we do what's called a CMA. We do a CMA to tell them all of the competition in and around properties like the one that they want to buy, what they've sold for, so that they don't go and overspend. okay? Because our job has two very polar opposite skill sets. When we're dealing with buyers, our job is to get the lowest price for the buyer, to save them the most amount of money, and that's how we feel that we're worth our salt. And then for sellers, we're trying to get them the most amount of money. And so we have these two completely different systems in place that are total opposites in order to perform total opposite outcomes for our clients. So right now we're talking about buyer. So we look at it, and this person paid the most amount that anybody's ever paid in the building. And we're like, oh my, how did this happen? So they go through it. So they go off and they realize there's not a chance that they can sell. We advise them to get another opinion, because what we're seeing, they're going to lose quite a bit of money. And then they came back a couple of times. Each time we sort of outlaid where the market is, and each time the market is going down, they're losing more and more money. Well, right now, the market is not any better than it was when we met 6 months or so ago. And it's not going to be even better when we meet in another 6 months. And then when we meet in 6 months after that, it's not going to be any better. And I think for the next 2 years, that's going to be the scenario. So any of you guys who need to get out of a property, get out of it now. If you can weather this problem and weather it and say you can be around for 5 years, hang out. You'll be fine. Because you're going to pay down a lot of your principal, you'll be fine. But if you can't weather it, because the cost of living, like Anthony said, has gone through the roof, and the prices aren't actually there for what you purchase, and your mortgage costs are way too expensive, and you just can't do it. And if you were to get a mortgage, you're going to be grabbing private on top of that, which is going to suck more of your equity out of it. And life is going to be very difficult. Then get out of it now, because the market's not getting better in the next 2 years. And I would almost lay my life down on that, but I'm only guessing at the marketplace, to be honest with you. But it's a pretty educated guess. And I don't know why, but so far I've been pretty bang on. You guys, for all you guys who have been following us for a few years, I don't know why, but I just happen to have been bang on. We'll wait for a time when I'm not. But I will tell you this, when I'm not sure of the market, I'm not going to guess it. I'm going to say I have no idea what's going to happen. But right now, I'm pretty sure it's going down. And in certain segments, it'll level, it'll stay pretty solid. I believe the detached marketplace is not going to crash. I think the detached marketplace is going to experience some downward pressure, but it is a rare gem, and it's going to hold its own definitely over time. So anyways, this client comes in, and they're coming in again next week, and basically they're faced with, when they first came to see us, they were faced with losing about $50,000. The last time they came, they were faced about losing about $115,000 to $120,000, and this time, well, we'll have to do a CMA to see where they're at. But the condos are not doing better than they were then.
Oh,
yeah. So they paid the most out of everybody who's ever did. So I don't imagine it's going to be any better. But the thing is, how do we deal with this? How do we face it? Well, you know what? We just be honest. That's all we can really do. And one thing that I will tell you, if you're a consumer and you are thinking about getting some advice from us, one thing that you can guarantee is it will not be peppered with salesman's breath. It will only be about what your situation is, what the market is doing, so you can make those tough decisions. And that's really where they're going to be very, very shortly as well.
Yeah, it is tough, especially when you bought at the top, and then, basically if you bought at the top in 2021, you're, for lack of better words, kind of screwed right now, because you're underwater.
You're underwater, unless you put a huge amount down. And in
But you're
that
still
case,
technically
you're gonna
underwater
lose-
because
you're
you're
gonna lose
st-
your
yeah,
equity,
yeah.
a good portion of your equity. The other issue, I guess, that you're going to face is the interest rate hike,
Yeah.
which is going to be the payment hike that you're going to face. And so it does make life hard. And guess what? Guess who those people are? Next year. That's why we really believe that next year is not going to be a great year.
Because next year is like 120,000 mortgages?
121, yeah, 121,000, but also the peak of the market.
Okay, yes,
So
yes.
they're experiencing
Yeah.
a worse situation than the people who are being desperate to get out this year. The 1 in 5 that are selling this year, next year, who knows what it'll be?
Yeah, 'cause the 20
1 in 8, 1 in 12.
Yeah.
Who
The
knows?
2020 prices, there might still be some equity room. The 2021,
Yeah.
that was the crazy year, right? That was
Yeah.
when people went stupid.
That was FOMO.
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't. This is crazy. Like literally, house on the market, 4 days. Like you don't have to stage the house. You just I have a house.
You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They were saying that you could have been a monkey and been a realtor. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. It was very, very difficult to tell realtors apart during that period because everything moved and you were just happy with what you got. Now you can tell them apart. You can see the difference in marketing. You can see the difference in price.
Even in pictures,
And-
like little things, like looking online, like when you click on a picture and it's filling up a quarter of the screen, like you can't see anything. What are you doing? Like it's like.
What they're doing is they're preserving costs and they're not understanding technology.
But that's beyond ridiculous. Like even if you're taking the pictures yourself with your phone, you should get a better picture than that.
You want me to tell you what happens?
Or
When you remember when you cancel a listing and relist it, if you use the old photos in the system,
oh yeah.
oh yeah. So they don't know how to fix that. So they're running around technology and they just don't know. You have to reload those photos.
But I'm just saying, if you find like.
Yeah, learn.
Yeah, figure it out. Like
Well-
how, like it's ridiculous though. Like, cause like me, if I'm the client and I see that I'm like, so I look at the one beside or the house next door, and I look at mine, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here?
Wow,
Like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Well, that you know what? Funny you say that. That's exactly some of the stuff that we were facing at this open house. I mean, our open house was from start to finish just flooded with people, and we got the marketing right. So I think we've got it down. But we were in one of the best areas in Whitby too. Williamsburg is a fantastic family-oriented area, but we nailed the marketing for it, and we were just super busy. And a lot of people came in and they said, wow, you know what? You've really done a really good job at marketing this home. You've done a really good job. So, the full page brochures that they were able to get that was telling them all about the home and all the features of it and all the colored pictures, and they were seeing it online and they knew everything about the schools that were in the neighborhood, the rocket ship park, and all the stuff that they learned from us. They're like, how come our home doesn't have this? And it was like, well, it's funny because when we talk to realtors, they actually don't believe that this stuff works. They actually don't believe that there's a difference between the realtors. It's just fluff. The real big difference is getting a listing or not getting a listing. And we kind of separate ourselves in that no. We believe not only is about getting a listing and not getting a listing, but it's about when you get that listing, how you present it, how you market it to the buyers, what information you give them, how do you get them very, very interested in the home, how do you solve all of their issues so they're not thinking that there's issues left on the table where they'll minus money from, and how do you get them to compete. We believe that that's invaluable, and because of that, our success in terms of getting the top dollar is extremely high. And I'm really proud of it. I will tell you because I've been doing this since 1988, and I've been struggling and struggling and struggling to be able to unlock that code. And all along the way, people are saying, don't bother with it, just go out and get it on the list, or just go out and do this. And I'm like, no, I gotta help this person. I've gotta do this, I gotta do that. And now it's all paying off. Now we're seeing the difference. So our real trick now is to let the world know the system that we have in place. So we should actually do a show that shows them what we actually do in order for our sellers and for our process. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. Because I'm pretty sure, again, as a first-time, I guess, seller, you don't really know what's going on. Like,
You don't know the
yeah,
difference.
yeah, you know, yeah, exactly.
You
don't
think
know the difference.
everybody's the same.
Yeah, and yeah, there is method to the madness, and if you don't know the method, you're going to be pretty mad once you deal with somebody who doesn't do the things the proper way. Again, I talk about the pictures. Might seem like a small thing, but it's to me it's a huge thing. It's like, yeah, if you can't, it's your first impression, right? You see this, like when my wife was looking at places, like she'd be like fascinated with the pictures and like, okay, I gotta see the place. And again, a lot of people probably like that. And if your pictures are trash, some people will like look at it and think, I'm not even gonna bother. It's like wasting my time. Like
That's exactly what happens. They're not everyone, but there's a percentage of the population that the pictures are garbage. They just move on.
Yeah.
They don't have time for that. And so you've lost those people because of whatever you're doing. And the thing is that there's no need for it. What's really interesting, if all realtors were the same, then just go after the discount realtors. Just go and pay the least amount of commission possible. And therefore, you save the most amount of money. But you know what's really funny? When you do that, the discount agent is a discount agent for a reason. Like it's not because they do the best services, they offer the best marketing. It's not because any of those reasons. There's not a chance that they can. The money's just not there. It's because they have to in order to have some kind of marketing ploy. And so their marketing ploy is not about marketing your home. The marketing ploy is about getting your listing. And if that's important to you and you really believe by saving 1% that you're winning, you really need to rethink that.
or do your research.
Or do your research, because here's one thing, $1 million home. Well, we got 2 minutes? Oh, shoot. I want to leave you with this. On $1 million home, 1%, Anthony, give us the number.
1%?
1%.
100,000. I'm sorry, 10,000.
$10,000. So you want to save $10,000 to market your $1 million investment. But if you hire a professional negotiator, guess what? That $10,000 is just a negotiation. Like, we're not even talking about the marketing and everything, but when it comes down to making things work, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 can be won easily in minutes in negotiations. And so, but you didn't hire someone that has those skills, because they're discounting their own pay, so definitely discounting your home. That's just par for the course. So I believe that you may want to reconsider that as a technique to actually sell your biggest investment.
All right. If it looks like that's all for today, ladies and gents. Hopefully you got some good info out of that. If not, come back next week and we'll try again. As always, it's been Your Home, Your Money, and Our Lives on realityradio101.com. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy and Anthony, right here on Reality Radio 101.